My life matters.
We always talk about white people killing black people, but we don't talk enough about black on black crime. We kill each other.
My life matters.
Kansas City is different.
Stuff can happen at a moment.
My life matters.
Say if somebody made me mad, I do the first thing that comes to my mind.
My life matters.
We just go and just retaliate now or just get revenge on anything.
My life matters.
I mean, we've got about 170 homicides already in the city this year.
My life matters.
I saw the news, and an 11-year-old girl was shot and killed, and that's all I saw.
preaching minister at our church. One thing I don't want to spend any time thinking about, presentation software.
What I love about FreeShow is in many ways its ease of use.
Hey, I'm Jared Ellis from Fellowship Regional Church in Iola, Kansas.
My name is Paul Hubart. I'm the lead pastor of Southside Christian Church in Fort Pierce, Florida.
In working with church apps, when FreeShow was brought onto the scene, it absolutely took over for us.
We're a church of roughly about 150 folks. I'm not super technologically advanced, but I'm able to put together displays that are visually engaging and look top notch really every Sunday. Because of the versatility of FreeShow and really the strength of the program.
With FreeShow, we've been able to grab somebody, and because it's so incredibly user-friendly, we can teach them so quickly how to operate the program.
We had an issue with FreeShow that I was struggling to figure out.
So we sent an email, and immediately somebody gets back to us.
And I was actually able to get in touch with the creator of FreeShow directly.
I just need it to work. And that wasn't happening with the presentation software we were using before. So for us, yeah, FreeShow's incredible.
Would we continue using FreeShow if budget wasn't an issue? And yeah, absolutely we would.
If money was no object and it came down to whether or not we were going to use FreeShow or maybe try to use a more expensive program, there's no way in the world that we would go with something else.
All right. Mic check 1, 2. What's good? What's good, you guys? Sorry about that. I ended up switching something out here. Hold on. While I get that figured out. Switch this back on. There we go. All right. I had my computer in the other room and forgot to plug up my actual camera. So sorry about that. But welcome to FreeShow Friday, you guys. I'm Gary B. Jr., your media consultant. We got a lot of folks on today. A lot of folks on, a lot of cool stuff going on. Oh, man. Yeah, there's some stuff going on. All right, so let's see. Let me just go through it from the top. We got Verbacious Brian in from Michigan. Welcome, Mr. Brian. We got Jim Lawyer on from Dayton. I'm sorry, not Daytona. Dayton, Ohio. Every time I see Dayton, I do think Daytona for some reason. We got Mark Smith on from Kalispell, Montana. Kay Vaspo on. Loving it, Christopher. And then Ryan Coverwell from Zimbabwe. All the way in Zimbabwe. Look, let me know, what time is it in Zimbabwe again? Remind me, Ryan. I'm curious. We got, let me see something here. I got an error showing up on my end. Stream settings. Interesting. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm getting a poor message saying that my signal is poor. Let me know. I'm curious. Is it coming through okay? Yeah, we'll see. Okay. Christopher says yes. Thank you for that. Thank you. I was getting nervous. I was like, I got this big old yellow message on my, yeah, it's crazy. Okay. Let's see here. So we got Ryan on and Mr. Terry Ray. Welcome, my friend. We got Ezra Junapandian from India, all the way in India. What time is it in India? I'm just curious. So Ryan says it's 6:09 p.m. early evening. Okay, excellent. Let's see who else we got. Did I miss anybody? I think that's everybody. And then we got Ear to Hear Publishing on here flirting with me, saying, "Hey, handsome." That's my beautiful wife, so I'll accept that. Mark says to Christopher, love the new update message about being up to date and updating being much easier. Thank you for all you do. You guys, it's a game changer. Funny story. So I was sending a message to Christopher about a problem that I had, and he made an update right after I'd actually submitted the ticket or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, I just fixed it in this update," and so I downloaded the update, and I sent him a message right away. I was like, "It's still broken." And I didn't realize I didn't install the program. So don't do what I did. Like, make sure when you download it, you actually install it so that it actually will work. I didn't do a good job of that. So for me, that wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. And let me see, is my audio okay for you guys in terms of loudness? I feel like I'm loud, but I'm looking at my signal levels there. But if I start peaking, let me know. I think I want to pull it down just a bit here. Mic check 1, 2. All right. So that was a funny story, but yeah, I love the updates that have been happening. There's been quite a few of them. Let's see here. We got M. Smith, can hear you fine. Excellent. 9:30 p.m. in India. Wonderful. We got Claude from Canada in the house. What's going on, Claude? We got let's see here. Oh, remember Brian said there's a mismatch between my audio and my video, but he said it's better now. Okay. Keep me posted. I'm trying to think about what I got going on with my video. I do have it delayed, but I think that's only for recording. Maybe not. We'll see. I'm not sure. All right, so let's talk about what we got going on today. First off, if you don't know, you are now about to know. There is an official free show update. Let me see if I can share this screen here. There's an official free show update that just came out this week, 1.5.9. If I go to my download section here, you'll be able to see a Z full all releases. I just click on see all releases there. Now I'll put myself in there, I think. Let me turn that on. There we go. But I don't see myself. Trying to set up my circle camera, but I don't see it on there, you guys. Not sure what's going on with that. Oh, let me see. Nope. Okay. So here's what we got going on with the 159 update. I'll fix that in a second. We got moved the layout and slide notes. I haven't got to test that out. So move the layout and slide notes. We got new layout here. This is always fun. When I do it live, I get to figure out where are the slide notes. Let's talk about where they used to be. Okay. So I'm gonna go into this was a test that we did. That one's kind of goofy. Let's see. Training with actions and slides. Okay, let's test this one out. So it used to be you would go into the edit page and you would have to go over here to the items and you would see an option here for notes. Now, the question is, where is the notes now? Let's see. If I go up here, boom, slide notes. This little menu icon, this little, I don't know what you call it. The little 3 dots, let's call it the 3 dots at the upper right, are going to be a place that you're going to start seeing a lot more stuff, I've noticed. So in the projects, if you hit the 3 dots here, you'll see options and it'll give you the way to make your day and time. And you can also set to show the project list on startup. I actually have mine active because I wanted to jump right into this page. But then I'm guessing that means over here, you can also add notes to your layout. So if I select that, you'll see that it pops up the notes here. If we go back here and we select this notes, those notes come up down here, which is pretty nice. I like that. Let's see here. Let's say nice notes layout. I'll put that in there. And then if I go back to my show, you'll see your notes there. And then that was my slide notes. This is the actual layout notes. So this is where your entire layout notes go. Now the layout notes are just there for that particular layout. So if I were to say new layout and hit enter, let's see if I go back to default, I got these here. Let's see, does it change? They're active. And so, Christopher, are they designed to change with each layout? Let me see. If I delete this here, will it delete everywhere? I'm on default too. If I go back to default, there we go. So yeah, they carry over, but you change them. You can change them. So each one, I'm gonna say this is a different layout. And then this one is notes for this particular layout. So you might have one song sang a certain way. You can customize the way it looks. Okay, you can customize the way that the notes show up for that particular song, which is kind of cool. Kind of cool. All right, let me do something here real quick, you guys. There we go. I got Circle Gary back. Okay, perfect. I was just trying to figure out how to make sure that shows up. There we go. We're back in effect. All right. Let me see the notes we got going on here in the chat. Carl said no mismatch between the audio and the video here. The 3 dots is a hamburger. What? 3 dots is a hamburger? What? What? Brian, what does that mean? 3 dots is a hamburger? 3 dots. He calls it a hamburger. That's pretty cool, whatever that means. And then, oh, you got the toggle timeline up here now. Oh my goodness. And so down here is where the toggle timeline used to be, but now it's up here. Okay. Okay. I think I got lost on that. I was doing a demo for somebody and I got lost trying to figure out what that was. That was hilarious. Okay. That's cool. Very cool. All right. Oh, hamburger equals men. Oh, Terry Ray took that thought away. Let me know. Let me guys know what a hamburger means. I don't know what it means. All right. I don't know why this says pile of gray fish. Interesting. Don't know what that means. Oh, hamburger equals menu. Oh, I love it. So the 3 dots is a menu. It looks like a hamburger, 2 buns in the meat. All right. I'm learning. I like that. Let's go back and see what else we got going on here for our update. So PowerPoint import enhancements. I never tested out because I don't have PowerPoint. So I can't test it out. Somebody give me some feedback. Have you got to test out what those PowerPoint improvements look like and if they are really useful for you guys? PDF import auto converts to images. That's pretty sweet. The Planning Center chord chart import. That's sweet as well. Profile change permission per action tag. Whoa. So profile change permission per action. Okay. So what that means is in here, I go to my functions. I got some action tags here. Boom. Kind of like categories or folders, I guess you could say, or let's see, in overlays. What do they call them here? Categories. Yeah. Templates. They call them categories. So in your functions, you kind of got a lot of different categories of functions. And inside of each category, you can have a tag. Okay. And so what this means is if you go to your settings under the profiles now, if I got my Campus One profile that I was playing with, I can go into, let's see here. I get the drop down for actions and now I can see the individual tags that I can actually be visible or not visible. That's a game changer. Okay. Uh-oh. And you could do it for variables. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. So those 2 right there basically make your profiles so robust. Okay. To where now you can literally limit, you can customize these profiles crazy. So like with your templates, for example, right? So you can dictate which templates they have access to see or not see, to read or not, or to actually be able to see is this little, I don't know what you call it, the little slash thing. And then to read it's visible, but it's not editable. And then to write just means it's editable. Ooh wee. Wow. That is going to be fun. Oh yeah, I got a lot of talking, a lot of I'm working on an idea for a profile video to talk about how in depth these profiles can get when you're dealing, especially now with the cloud sync functionality. My goodness, this is about to be crazy. And so yeah. Okay, let me come back. Let's see, a profile change permission. Action to set the next slide timer. An action to set the next slide timer on the active show. Deep. Okay, so there's an action now that you can set or to set the next slide timer on an active show. So let me see here. Next slide timer. That's what I'm getting caught up at. Let me think that through. So there's an action. Let's see here. Mr. Terry says you can now import PowerPoints and they show up. No more having to convert them. Oh, snap. That's a game changer. Okay. What happened and how did that happen? Like that, I say what happened. Look, that's two the same question twice. How did that happen? That is crazy. So crazy. All right, let me pull this. I'm getting my chat. Oh my goodness. I just pulled my chat off the dock. Or the dock off. Let me pull it back in. At least try to. Yeah, I don't know what I just did. I think I just broke my OBS trying to get my let me see. Nope. Let me pull this in so I can see what's going on. I did something, you guys, and I don't know where my my doc went for my chat. So I was just trying to make it, be there. Let's see. I was trying to be fancy and have my my YouTube stuff set up in my in OBS. Now I got to log in. Hold on just a second. In the meantime, we've gone over a few of those particular updates. Somebody tell me what's been your favorite one so far that we got to see. Like I said, for me, I think it's the actions in the profile setting customization thing. That one is just crazy to me because I can see some real easy ways to use that. What's your favorite one? While I be able to get my doc, hopefully I can get my doc back into here. Oh, snap. So Mr. Terry Ray says you can even edit text of a PowerPoint inside FreeShow. Christopher, what have you been doing? How did you do that? And then Oli Christian Samarin says they recommend, I'm guessing you're talking about you recommend OBS Ninja. And then T Hooper in the house from Jersey Shore, representing Jersey Shore. Oh my goodness. You guys, let me see here. I logged into the wrong YouTube. Get this set back up right. Let me see. Switch account. Hold on. I obviously cannot do multiple things at the same time here. Let's try this again. Favorite feature. I think Mr. Terry Ray's is the PowerPoint stuff, which I can respect. Much respect for that, because if I use PowerPoint, that's a game changer. I got to figure out how to get a PowerPoint. So Mr. Terry Ray, maybe you could email me a PowerPoint, like a file. Send me a file so I can do a test on it to test it out. I would love to see that, how it works. Do I have to have PowerPoint on my computer for it to work? Like, does it, and Christopher, maybe you can answer this. Mr. Terry, maybe you can answer too, but do I have to be in PowerPoint or have PowerPoint open for it to be able to be editable and all that good stuff? This is for all the Mac users out there, which I know is not many of you guys. But let's see. Oops, you don't have permission to view this page. What? What in the world did I do? I don't know what's going on here. I think I broke something though, but let me see if I can get my doc back. This is hilarious. I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's see here. So T Hooper says that's another game changer. Indeed. Let's see. Can you do trigger from FreeShow to OBS? P Stucker 2002 says, can you do a trigger from FreeShow to OBS? So let me show you what my answer would be to that. And Christopher or anybody else that may use this, feel free to chime in. What I'm thinking you're asking is, can I control OBS from FreeShow in some way, right? And so The short answer is yes, but it wouldn't. I don't know how to do it through this option called triggers. I wouldn't necessarily do that. I don't know. I think this has something to do with. It says triggers are commonly used to send HTTP requests to change the preset of cameras. So I don't recommend it for that, but you possibly could. I just don't know how to use those. I never used the trigger option before. However, there's a way to do it in actions under the MIDI option. So you can do an action here, and if you scroll to emit data, you can do a MIDI option. So it says pick your emitter. So I used to do this. I turned it off since then, but there's a plugin for OBS that allows it to receive MIDI signals. And so basically what you would be doing is you would run I'm trying to think about the best way to say it. So you would set up a trigger in here in terms of setting up a MIDI signal. You know, the MIDI signals, if you guys have ever used them, they ask you for like the note and the velocity, I think, for it, right? Something along those lines. I think it's 3 things, but those 2, the note, the velocity, and let me see, I'll just click on it. Let me do OBS live stream. The note, velocity, and the channel. So the most important thing here is the note is going to be very specific. The channel is going to be very important. And then the velocity in FreeShow, I believe this is something that's kind of fluid depending on which program you use. You might need it to be more than 0. Like I said, typically I've seen it to where FreeShow usually needs it to be like at least 10. Whereas with folks that have used ProPresenter, I've helped them kind of do some switching up and changing out, and they've had to, in ProPresenter, they can have the velocity of 1, and that's just the power that's being sent out, or the power of the signal is the best way I can describe it, like hitting a key on a keyboard, on a piano keyboard. But in FreeShow, it usually has to be turned up more than 1, like to 10 or something like that. But you would set that up, and I'm not going to do it today, but you would set it up as an action, and it'll send a certain note at a certain velocity on a certain channel. And then in OBS, you would use that same option to do the plugin. The one I have is called OBS MIDI MG setup. Let me see here. I'll try to share my screen so you guys can see what it looks like. I don't think it's going to be really useful, but let me see. If I bring this in, so in my OBS, and I'll pull it to here, studio mode, so you guys can see it a little bit different, and I'll pull that up. Okay. So in OBS, you guys can see my screen over here. Well, you guys can see my whole screen, right? And so my tools, I downloaded this plugin called OBS MIDI MG setup. And in here, you would have to say, okay, I want to make it's kind of convoluted for me, so I don't use it that much, but you can make a binding collection, and then select your MIDI device that you would actually have to set up on your computer. You would need to look at my video about, I don't even know what the video is called. I think it's about sending MIDI signals. I think I made a video about using MIDI with OBS, and I think it walks through how to set up basically your network and all that stuff. And on a Mac is what I walk through it on. I don't know how to do it on a Windows computer, but on a Mac, I walk through how to do it. And I think somebody made a good comment on how to do it and kind of correlate what I said for the Windows users. So it's similar, but not exactly the same. Okay. But you would set it up here, and you can make it be a certain thing. So if I go to this, let's see here, I'll go to this one, and these statuses are here. If I go, you have to go to hit this little edit icon, I think. So I can select this, and what it does is it gives you the option to pick what's going to happen. So you can make it to where this action is going to do some scene switching. It can switch the video source. You can make it do a transition, all kinds of different things. You can make it trigger your recording and all that. However, the reason why I'm glazing over this is because P. Stucker, I would recommend just getting Companion. I would recommend just getting Companion for free, and you running it on a phone, another computer, or a tablet. And then later on, maybe upgrading, getting a Stream Deck if budget is an issue, or just getting a Stream Deck out the gate. What I do right now is I use this program, Companion, and I'll say launch GUI so you guys can see it. And here's what it looks like. To me, it's a lot simpler. I'm not going to say it is a lot simpler, but to me, it is. And what Companion allows you to do is, and you guys, were y'all able to see my screen? Y'all weren't even able to see all that. Okay. Let me see here. Let me do share screen. All right. And so that's hilarious. All right, but here, you guys should be able to see my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. And somebody asked me how the weather is here. It's about 73 right now. I started typing that message and never sent it. But in Companion, you can set up a connection to your ATM, to OBS, to FreeShow, and you can have one button that interacts with all of those particular options seamlessly. And there's a video about this as well. Definitely check it out. Let me see here. Let me pull this out of the way. And go back here. Let me go to YouTube real quick. And I'll pull up where I think the video might be. Because I think it's just, I think I made a companion playlist. And so I'm just going to go to my channel and see for sure. Okay. So here we go. Let's see. Playlist. Free show automation. It might be in there. Let me see. I'm not trying to play it. Okay. Smart conditions. Using MIDI inputs is under the automation one. And I think I made a separate one for companion. Yeah. So the MIDI video is right. Where did I see it? I saw it earlier. Using MIDI. Here we go. Using MIDI. That one is the video that I would recommend. Let me see if I can share that with you guys here. Share. Copy. For MIDI. I'll paste that in. And then for the companion stuff, let me go back. Oh. Okay. Let's do a search for it. How many people got to see the companion video? Here we go. So there's a BitFocus companion playlist. And I don't know how to share the whole playlist. Oh, there it is. There it is. Copy that. And I'm going to go to companion. I'm going to put this in the chat for companion. Check this out. Okay. And so in here, this is a bunch of stuff, but the MIDI stuff, and then customized buttons in companion is where to show you how I actually have some things connected. Since then I've improved it. This was like 10 months ago. But since then I've made a lot of different changes to my setup. I showed it to you guys a couple weeks ago or maybe a week ago. I can't remember. Let's see here. Can you trigger? So P Stucker 2002. Let me know if that makes sense to you. Then Verbaceous, will PowerPoint importer work with PowerPoint like WPS? What's WPS? Somebody tell me. And then Christopher may be the best one to answer that one. Larry Sweeting says, OBS question, how do you dock the comments from another service like i.e. YouTube like you're doing? Yeah, I wish I could tell you because I broke mine apparently. But let me see. I'll show you. Let's see here. Docs. My chat is completely gone. I don't know where it went. And so yeah, there is a chat doc. Let me show you what I got at least. I'll show you an idea. An idea. And so once you do log into some type of provider, what'll happen is you'll be able to go up to the top where it says docs. And I got YouTube live control panel. I got stats. You got your controller and all these different docs here. But this chat one, like I said, I dragged it over to the right and I don't know where it went. I feel like I broke it. And I probably have to restart the program to get it back. And if I do the YouTube live controller, right, you can see that comes up over here. I just don't know what I did with it because this is just weird the way it what it did. I was doing it in real time while I was doing something else. And so I think I messed that up too. But this is like literally just real YouTube stuff. Like it's all there. And it's not usually like that. It usually is showing something else. It's usually showing something else. And I don't know how to go back out of it. But usually to show you live stream stuff really right. I just, like I said, I skipped over and did something, unfortunately, that I don't know what I did. Let's see it. Chat with creator. Oh no, that's with creator support. But you should have the option up at the top that says docs. And you'll be able to pick your doc from there. And then you can turn it on and off. Okay. And you can move them around and drag them wherever you want to and all that kind of fun stuff. Like I said, for me, I was distracted and did something. So I have to focus on it and figure out how to reset my chat doc. But right now what I'm doing is I just have the YouTube live what is it called? YouTube Studio open on my other screen, and that's what I'm using to communicate with you guys through the chat. So hopefully that helps, Larry Sweeting. But like I said, but if you wanted to have it all on one screen, those docs are really helpful. Let's see here. Do you have a plugin for that? Yeah, so I don't think there was a necessary plugin. I think it just automatically did it when I logged into YouTube. So when I did my when I went into my settings for not free show, but for OBS, and I logged in, that's when I think your docs open up. But you also it'll ask you to log in. So I actually still logged into the doc and to the chat doc and to the YouTube doc, which is hilarious. Steve Bainey in the house. Hey Gary, always great to see you, even when I'm late. No problem. Steve had I think me and Steve were emailing this week about some questions that he had. So hopefully those things worked out for you, Steve. Let's see here. Ezra Junapandi says, if I apply a template to a song in a project, the template applies to the song under show. I don't want my song database to be applied with templates. Is it possible? Ooh. So you want a template, but you don't want it to be applied to your show. So what you can do is it's gonna be some template by default. There's gonna be a template on each show, but what it sounds like you want to do is you just want it to be agnostic. You don't want there to be a distinct one for each one. You just want it to be this. If you want it to be the same template, let me put it that way. What I would recommend you do is go into your settings in FreeShow, and let me share my screen. I would go into FreeShow and go up to settings, and then go to styles. And in here, you can set an override slide with template setting. Okay, so your slide settings. So I got my default. Right now, I don't have any overrides going on, right? But if I wanted to do a certain style or a certain template for every show, no matter what the template is on that show, and what you're saying is you're not looking to apply any templates to your show. So this will be perfect for you, is that you just make a style for that and then apply that style to your output, right? I've got two different ones here. I got an A-Play Live and I got a primary, but you can make your output, I got my one primary, have a different style. So you would pick the style that you want, okay? That would be how that works. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see here. Let me know too, Ezra. I'm gonna call you Ezra for short. If that is, let me know if that's okay too. Mr. Terry Ray says, I was able to upload a PowerPoint saved as an .odp file into FreeShow using the PowerPoint. What? So he was able to upload a PowerPoint that was saved as an open office document, right? Open office document presentation into FreeShow. Wow. Okay. So ODP files open up in FreeShow using the PowerPoint. I love that. Okay. In the import menu, you click the PowerPoint drop down and you get to another import menu that lets you use controller. Oh, and it must be installed. Okay. So let's go into here real quick. So he said from here, if you wanted to go into the file import and you go over here to the PowerPoint option, there's this option that says controller. It requires PowerPoint or Keynote to be installed and useful for live streams, but it can be buggy. So this is how he was controlling it. Yeah, Brian made a good point here too. Just as a side note, I'm looking at his comment here. Verbace saying, yes, you can use MIDI. MIDI is really useful for lighting out of FreeShow, like bar none. Best place to do it to me, even better than putting it in Companion, is putting your MIDI signals on your slides, where a lot of ministries that use MIDI, they might have a song. I'm gonna go to a song here just real quick. They might have a song and they might say on the chorus of the song, when it gets to this section of the song, we have an action that's set to where it'll automatically change the lights to a certain color or to a certain thing, right? Because every song's chorus may be similar, maybe. I don't know. I'm not a music person, but that's a really cool way to do it. And that's MIDI. Using MIDI to do that would be a really cool way to control your lighting, as he said, and then also audio mixers. And I don't know what an outboard device is, but that's a really cool term. I'm guessing another device that has there's some type of board, right? So very cool, very cool. And then Mr. Cherry says, I think it's likely that a WPS file will import into FreeShow. And ODP file is from LibreOffice. Oh, sorry. Oh, LibreOffice uses, I thought, so what is an open office document file? What are they called? I don't know why I thought that was an ODP. Okay, Ezra said, call me Ezra. Perfect. Okay, thank you. I would try that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. You guys, I got this fan on and it's blowing in my face. I need to move where it is though, because it's not working for me. But I need it because, like I said, it's warming up over here, and I just got to figure out where the best place to put it is. Maybe just here. Let me know if it's too loud. I'm looking at my signals. It doesn't look like it's coming through, which is great. Okay. Now, all that to say, let's see here. Let's go back into our updates here just as we continue. You guys have some good comments today. This is awesome, and good questions too, so keep them coming. Oh, it's a fork of OpenOffice? Shut up. I didn't know that. I thought they were totally separate. Okay, makes sense. Thanks, Mr. Terry Ray. PDFs, we talked about that. Mr. Terry Ray hipped us to the PowerPoint feature, which is sweet. Profile change permission, actions to set next slide timer on active show. That's where we left off. I didn't even go into it. So we go back to our actions and we say new action. There's an action now to set the next slide timer on a new show. All right, so let's see here. Start. If I go up here to the more options, the little eyeball icon, it gives you more. So let's see here. Project, show, next slide timer. Boom. Under show. Okay. And what is a next slide timer? Oh, that's the little 5 seconds, like to make the loop videos. I'm over here thinking about an actual clock, like a timer clock. Okay. So there's an action to set the next slide timer on the active show. Snap. Oh, okay. Let's try this out. So I'm gonna say 5 seconds. I wonder if it'll do that for the entirety of the show. Okay, so the default and called it next slide timer. All right, so let's see if I can find it down here. I got to show. This is a song, which you definitely do not want to do that, but this is a test. I'll do it on one of my other shows. Let me see. I think I got something here called announcements. Let me go to all. You can do a search for your stuff real easily, which I love. I got announcements too. I don't even know what's on there. Okay, so it's got a 5 second timer on it. What did I set my next slide timer to be in here? I can't remember. I said to 6 seconds. Okay, so now these 5s are next slide timers up here. When I select this, it should change it to be 6 seconds. Boom. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. Wow. That's really convenient. I like that. And so in the past, you would go to this little icon here, which is still there. You can change that from 6. I can make it be 8. And I can say apply to all. And now we got an 8 second timer on each of our slides. And so just so you guys know, those who may be new to Free Show Friday, this is all about Q&A. So this is you guys asking questions, and guys and gals, and following up on questions that I've been asked throughout the week and giving feedback and doing some demos to try to answer those questions real time. All right. And so I like to make sure we go over all the updates that have happened on Free Show as best we can. And I'm doing them on the fly, like the first time I'm seeing them sometimes. So bear with me, but at the same time, we'll discover together, and I might ask you all to help me out. So for those who are new, this is the flow. Mr. Terry Ray says, I just sent you a PowerPoint file. It will open in Keynote. All right. Okay. So the question is, do I have to have Keynote open in order for this process to work, or can I just download that file and then put it into Free Show? Mr. Terry Ray, let me know, and I'll do it live. All right. Let's go back here. So we figured out the action to next slide timer. Timeline slides trigger closest. Timeline slides trigger the closest. Okay. And so I remember reading about this in some of the chats. I'm gonna go to a show. Let's see. I'm actually working on making a recording video as well. I just came up with the idea yesterday. Let's see here. Here's good father. Okay. And I'm gonna close my notes. I don't need that open, but I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna open up toggle timeline. And the way this works is you can start recording just as this is a brief summary of how it works. So you can start recording and you can hit that there and it'll automatically start, and then you can hit another slide, and then you can hit another slide, and all these two there. So I can hit 3. I can skip to verse 5, and I can come back to verse 4, and then I can go to slide 6. And you see the numbers there of which slides you're selecting. You can go through on your recording. And typically what you would do is you would actually have the audio of the track playing, so you can actually like be in sync, which is what I'm going to teach you guys to do. And so I can put these in there. Okay, got it. Now I can stop the recording, and these are all saved, and I can just hit play. And if you pay attention to what's going on up here, watch what happens. It automatically changes what's going on. And so these slides are automatically changing. And this is the preview. So it looks like that. I don't think it does that in real life. And that's just what it looks like in my preview window. Okay. And so really like that feature. If you pause it though, and you go to another one, and I wish I could make this bigger. I can't make these bigger unless I pull it this way. Let's see. And then it does that double up thing. So I'll make it as big as I can so you guys can see it over here. But what's happening is when you skip around to certain slides, let's see, if I say play, it automatically goes to, let's see here. The one that it'll click to it. So I think the closest has to do, let me see what it says. It says timeline slides triggered closest. If Christopher's still on, let me know, Christopher, when it says trigger closest, what does that mean? Trigger closest. I'm guessing it's timeline slides trigger closest. Yeah, I'm not gonna act like I understand that. Okay, scripture collection verse offset. What? Scripture collection verse? So we go here. Scripture collection. I got collections here. Okay, this is about to get interesting right here. Let me see. The message. Nope. My stuff was really acting up. Oh, this is the English majority. No, that's the English majority. This one, I think I deleted some Bibles. Did I delete some Bibles? No, I didn't delete them. Let me get rid of this one real quick. Delete, and I'll do a new collection, and I'll do the message. And did you guys know you can select between two now? We talked about that a while back, I think, but you can pick between the API Bibles and local Bibles. And so I'll say create at the bottom. Let's see here. Where'd it go? I did the message and the amplified. Oh, maybe not. No, there it is. These old ones I have don't work really well. So I got to delete those. That one works. That one doesn't. I'm just cleaning up because I haven't changed these in a while. So that's just on me. So the message is here. And so I can go to, I need to change my template because I want to do, well, let's see. In my settings for default, for my style, under default here, there's an option to, or there used to be an option to change it when it is a two or a collection of some sort. So let me go here. Let's see if it'll change on its own. Nope, didn't change. Okay. So let me change my template here. I want to do the two scripture. And so now I've got the two verses here, the message and the amplified. And basically what this says is that there's an offset option. So scripture collection verse offset. My guess is that it has to do with the stage display. But let me go back. Let me see. Outputs. Let me turn on my stage. And I got that one there. And let me turn off that variable so you guys can see my stage correctly, I mean. Okay, let's see here. Message, important message, stage message, turn it off. Okay. And so we got that here. And God said, let there be light. Okay, so what I understand is that there's an option now. Let's double check. Oh, Christopher says, okay, it will play the closest previous slide without it needing to trigger on the exact time. Oh. So back to the timeline piece, he said it will play the closest previous slide without it needing to trigger. Is that when, okay, Vaspo, is that when you're moving it around? Is that what that means when you're actually moving it around, or what's the use case for that? Because I imagine it being when you're moving between the timelines. So just tell me if I'm wrong. That's all. Brian says some of us don't have the resources to afford something like Microsoft PowerPoint, so we seek out cheaper or free alternatives that might work with FreeShow. Some of us, like me, are just cheap. Yeah, I've not used PowerPoint in years. I've always That's why I only knew about OpenOffice personally, and then Keynote. I use Keynote on my Apple, but um, I would always recommend OpenOffice, and that was what I had. That's what people used. Okay, so let's talk about the offset here. So slide text here, and it said plus. So I got the offset here for this, and so it's showing up both there. But let's see, yes, when it's put in the middle of two slides, it will play the one to the left. That's what I figured. Okay, that makes sense, Christopher. And then Mr. Terry Ray says LibreOffice, OpenOffice, WPS are free. What does WPS stand for? I don't know if somebody probably said it because I asked it a couple times. I think I just don't know what it means. What does WPS stand for? Somebody hit me up. Give me some new info there. All right. So this whole setting here for timeline, no, not timeline, scripture collection verse. Scripture collection verse. The offset is here in the stage, but that seems like it's happening in the actual scripture. So if I go to options, verse number, split, I don't have any options here to do it. I can convert it to a show, scripture collection verse offset. Yeah, my guess is just the stage. Christopher, is that right? Is it just about this stage option where it shows both verses in here? Or both of the collection Bibles in here, which is really sweet because I've never tested this out personally. And so I wouldn't have a grid to say it used to work or it didn't used to work. But I've got my current slide here and I got my next scripture here, and it's working seamlessly. Like, I mean, it's perfect. I can't go to the slides here, but I would have to do, let me see if I can go. No, I can't do that. Okay, look at the bottom center of the scripture collection. There's an offset. Oh, okay. That's just, it seemed like it was inside of here. Oh, snap. Offset. Oh. So the message defaults to being 0, and then the amplified, I can offset it by one verse. What are we doing? OMG. So this is Genesis. Well, it says Genesis 1:3. It'll say, okay, so God spoke light and light appeared. God saw that the light was good. So this is this is the amplified, this is the message, but this is showing up. Oh, wow. Okay, so now what does that do on my stage display? 1:3, God saw the light was good. God spoke the light. Okay, God called the light day. He called the night, and there was evening. God saw the light was good, and it separated light from dark. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is crazy. Okay. I'm sure there's some really cool applications for this. That I get it. I get it, Christopher. That is sweet. So, and then you got show all. What is that? Show all of what? I'm gonna turn off the offset. Show all. Oh, I get to see all the verses. So I get, oh, that is so sweet. You guys, I've not played with this part in a while with the collections. Man. Okay. Yeah, this is a whole nother video, I should say, to talk about how these features work. Okay, so we got verse 6. We got it in the message version and the amplified version. Verse 7, same way. Let me see. I'm gonna do another collection here of some other versions of the Bible. So I want to do New Living. Boom, and we'll do NIV. Okay, and create. Oh, dang, it didn't do it. Let me see. What did I do? So one of my Bibles is not showing up in here for some reason. When I select that, let's see. Okay, there we go. It's showing like this one still. It's showing because that's what's up here. I think. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. It was all there because I had selected it. Okay, let me see here. Let me catch up with the. Okay, versions. Will FreeShow treat OpenOffice, WPS, and others like a PowerPoint file for importing? Oh, writer presentation spreadsheets. That's what WPS is. Thank you, Mr. Terry Ray. And K. Christopher, that's a question just for you, my friend. Will FreeShow treat OpenOffice, WPS, and others like a PowerPoint file for importing? Because right now, though, Mr. Terry Ray said it does do that for ODP files, which is really cool. Okay. Sorry. All right. Let me see here. So I can see all. I like to see all or show all. That is really cool. Otherwise, you turn it off and you can only see just one version of the Bible. And it is telling you which one you got here. And so, you can toggle that, New Living, or that just by clicking on it. And if I hit refresh, same thing. Okay. Very cool. Man, this is a whole nother video, y'all. This is deep. Okay. So if I hit show all, you can see all of it. I go there, you'll see verse 2, and it just shows you the actual verse. And then you can do the offset. I can offset the New International Version. Somebody got to tell me why and when would you ever do this, because this is blowing my mind to use that feature. Because if I'm teaching, I would be seeing the current version or current verse. The thing that I don't like personally is that it shows just one verse of the Bible here. It just shows Numbers 1, chapter 1, verse 2. And then it says, from the whole community of Israel, record the names of all the warriors, right? And then it says, taking consensus. These are two different versions of the Bible and two different verses of the Bible. And then when I go to, let me see, the next verse. So 20-year-olds, let me go back. Take a sense of Israelite men in the community, listen to every man by name, one by one. Oh, wait a minute. I got my offset on. Did I turn it on to? What did I turn it on to? I didn't even turn it on. Let me see. I'm offsetted by one verse. Here we go. And so when I go to here we go. So this is the New Living, I believe. And then this is the NIV. Okay. That you said, take a census. All right. So if I go over to the next one, from the common record, names of men and Aaron to a number of the divisions, you and Aaron. Okay. So this verse is the offset. Okay. This is messing with my head, y'all. I can't tell what I'm doing. Can't tell what's going on. All right. So this is verse 3. This has got to be verse 4, right? You and Aaron must register the troops. One man from each tribe, each the head of his family, is to help you. Go to the next one. And you'll be assisted by one family leader from each tribe. So now what was down here moves up here. So it's almost like it's a this trickle up effect, this stagger effect. This is 3, or this is 4, this is 5. And then when I go to the next verse, this is 5 and this is 6, but different versions. That would mess with my head as a teacher. I don't know if I could do that, but I like the idea. Okay, so it says different translations have the same verse. This is what Christopher's saying. He's saying different translations. You guys can see this. He answered Brian too. He says, not for the text importing, only for the PowerPoint files. Okay, so the question was, will FreeShow treat OpenOffice like PowerPoint file for importing? And he's saying It will for the PowerPoint file. Christopher, correct me. Are you saying it will if they select the PowerPoint import option as opposed to the text import option? That's how I understand that. Is yes, FreeShow will treat ODP and all the LibreOffice like PowerPoint if you go to the PowerPoint menu, which is here under import. If you go here, as opposed to, well, there's no text option, is it? For PowerPoint, text file, chord, easy worship. Some may have misunderstood that. And then for Christopher, he was asking me about this whole offset thing. He said different translations have the same verse. Different translations have the same verse on different numbers. That's why there's an offset. Oh, different translations have the same verse on different numbers? What? I didn't know that. How? Why? Why would they do that? Like, how's that still considered the Bible if it's different numbers on there? I did not know this. What versions of the Bible do this? Somebody tell me. Like, I'm just curious now. I'm sorry. Okay. Let me reset. Let me reset. Okay, so we got that understood. The offset is there. That's more of a correction feature. It's not a feature to just be playing around with like I was doing. That's basically what I understand that to be. And then we got quick paste colors. What? Quick paste colors. If I go here, how do you quick paste? I can right click on it and do a quick search. If I go custom. How do you quick paste colors, Christopher? I see my first thought is going to the color menu here under the settings. I know my head is in the way there, but let's see here. Oh, I see a copy button I never seen before. So I've never seen this copy button here. And what is it copying? Different translations. Okay, Steve Bain says the verse numbers in the Old Testament Hebrew don't always align with the verse numbers in the English translations. Okay, where can I go if I want to suggest a feature for FreeShow? So, and Steve Bainey, thank you for that. Okay. So, Gurlinum J8530. Where can you go if you want to make a suggestion for FreeShow? What I would say to go is to go into freeshow.app, the website here. So freeshow.app. And then I just hit this little icon up here. And it looks like a little cat, but it says source code. There's probably a better way to do it. So anybody else does it a different way, let me know. But I just hit this little option next to downloads. And what it does is it brings you into the source page, and I just hit issues. When you get there, you can hit this option that says new issue. And when you select new issue, it gives you some options. The bug report option, a feature request, right? I think that's what you were talking about, right? To suggest a new feature. So you select that. A blank issue where it doesn't have any preset. And then there's documentation to help improve FreeShow documentation. I never clicked that before. Okay. And so describe the documentation needed, and then can you help write the documentation? And it gives you that information there. You can just type it in, and it automatically puts a little caveat here for your title that it's a doc. Very cool. But yeah, so when you get there, the main thing, when you get to the source code page, select issues and then pick new issue. And you'll see the option for feature request. When you select that, it gives you the option to describe the feature and then add additional context. I learned something special. You don't have to delete any of this stuff. Just start typing next to it, because I'm gonna say start typing next to it, and you'll see in the preview, that's all that shows up. That stuff that's in them brackets and little stars and all that stuff don't show up in the preview of what the development team is going to be seeing. So you don't have to go out of your way to make I always go in here and delete all this. So I go in and I just be like, I'm clearing all this out, and then I start typing. And when you preview, it still is there. It doesn't take away anything major. It just takes away the instructions that they've added in here, like the prompts to help you. And I used to try to type it in here, and I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And I don't think that does anything. It makes it invisible. So don't type in the arrows, type outside the arrows. Type here. And now when I go to the preview option, you'll see that my typing is here. And then you just say, you could add in attachments as well, but then you could just hit create. Okay. And then create more. I don't know what that's about, but I'm gonna cancel this and then close and discard for me, because that was just a fake one. But you'll see a list of all the different issues and suggestions. So this is a bug. Let's see, deleted shows are re-downloaded after sync. Edited shows are overwritten. This is a WebRTC enhancement suggestion, right? Video soft loop suggestion here. And then you can see the closed tickets, 2,400 of them. If you go there, you can look and see what has been updated, and you'll see, or at least addressed and closed, right? So sometimes they're resolved, sometimes it's tied to another ticket, okay? So this was a question here, right? So this is a question said that the ability to add notes was removed. And it says it does not appear. And then there's an answer here. It's moved to the top right. Or click on the existing note at the bottom. Okay. And so Christopher just literally just adds the answer to it, and then he closes the ticket. All right. Let's see here. So Christopher says, for that whole quick copy thing, copy a hex color to the clipboard. Then it will show up in the settings, general, manage colors. Oh, okay. So I go here and I want to pick a color, any color. Let me see. I'm gonna pick a custom color. I'm gonna pick this green, kind of vibrant, and then I can copy that. Copied it. And if I go to settings, under general, manage colors, it will show up in there. So did I just add it in there? Is that it right there? I don't even know. I think that's it. Click any to disable. All right, so let me pick a color that's not in here. I'm gonna disable anything that's remotely related to pink. I'm gonna disable these for now. All right, so now I'll close that back out. And this is just me trying to figure out what I'm looking at, because I may have done it and couldn't tell. Okay, so I made that text green. I'm gonna make this text be a whole new pink. This is just so I can reference and find it easier to determine how this works. So I picked this color, and now I gotta pick the hex. So I'm gonna copy that. I just do Command C, and now I'm gonna go back into my settings under General, Manage Colors. Yeah, I don't see it in here. So where would it go, Christopher? Like, how do I get that to show up? I went there. Do I just hit Add Color? And I have to paste it in? Like, where's the... Wait a minute. It didn't even go into my clipboard. I gotta hit copy probably. Let me see. If I go here and I hit copy. Nope. This is new though to me. Apply to all. That's nice. Ooh-wee. I don't know what this is called, but that's real nice. That's the copy feature. Let me see now if I go back into there. I hit refresh. Let me see if I hit manage colors. It didn't show up here under my my piece, but it's called where'd I go? Okay, it was called the quick paste colors. So I just need more clarity on how to make that work. And if you guys have figured it out, let me know. Let me know. All right, now let me do one more thing here. I'm looking for an email from Mr. Terry Ray. We're going to test out that whole PowerPoint thing that he was talking about, or that we've been talking about. Okay, so I got this PowerPoint. Let me download it. Okay. Crossing the other side of the tracks. Okay. Got it. And so I'm going to shift gears a little bit. Christopher, if you can help me out. I don't know how to, I guess the issue is I don't know how to copy. For whatever reason, when I do a Command V, or no, yeah, Command C, I should say, it's not copying that hex code that I did in here. And so I see the hex, right? If I right click on it, there's no option there, but when I do Command C, it's not selecting it for some reason. And I don't know how to make sure it will. So that's the issue that I'm running into with that part. But let's do an import. I'm gonna go to File. I'm going to Import, and I'm going to select PowerPoint. Okay. Now here's the question: which one? Which one should I select? Do I just click here, Mr. Terry Ray? Let me go back and look at your notes here that you brought up for us. Let's see. You said in the import menu, click the PowerPoint drop down, and you go to another import menu that lets you use controller. I see that I was able to upload PowerPoints, saved. Okay, but I'm looking to see what the first comment you made. You can now import PowerPoints and they show up. No more having to convert them. So I'm gonna just select this and see what happens. Let's do just a regular PowerPoint. It brings me here. I'm gonna go to my downloads and I got this PowerPoint file. I'm gonna say open. Boom. Woo. That was smooth and quick. Now the question is, so I don't know what this looked like originally, but I'm in edit. Let me go back to okay. So if I go here, okay, that looks right. That looks right. Okay. Let me go back. Boom. I feel like it's something missing in there in that the word lost, but nope, that's just how your slide is. That's a pretty fancy slide. Okay. This is a PowerPoint. I'm just going through it. I'm an arrow to the right. Wow. Now, my guess is that there's no animations on here, right? It's just a PowerPoint. It just automatically is showing up just fine. That is sweet. Like, that's better than I remember it ever being. And I remember playing with this a while back. I haven't played with it in a while. But yeah, that is nice. Christopher, man, well done. And the team, whoever else, I don't know who all helped make that happen, but my goodness. Okay, click on one of the slides and then edit the slide. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah. So what he was saying was, I can go here and actually edit this PowerPoint. Now, I did make a video to say we're going to sunset PowerPoint. I know some of y'all still using PowerPoint, and that's a good thing. Nothing wrong with it because it's convenient and it's flexible, that a lot of ministers and leaders are using it still too. So they're using PowerPoint and they're designing their slides, and now they can just send them to you and you can see them and play them simple and easy. And you can add your own transitions in FreeShow to their text, but their formatting stays the same. Wow. And you can edit the slides. This is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. I love it. Okay. I see why you were so excited, Mr. Terry Ray. We still use PowerPoint, but we use something else to present the slides. Yeah, that makes sense. So you're using PowerPoint. Now, have you started using FreeShow yet, Mr. Terry Ray? Is that what you're saying? You use something else, or are you saying you use something other than FreeShow to present the slides? Let me know. Okay. Yeah, that's a game changer, you guys. No more frantic working around trying to figure out how to make something work. Okay, trying out FreeShow. Yeah, I love it. Let me, if you don't mind, share with us what you currently use. Okay, use Easy Worship. Got you. And so, yeah, this feature right here is crazy cool. I love it. All right. Now, let's get into, so there's some other things here, some scripture template fixes, some media thumbnails missing, fixed online media not going to next. Okay, that was something I remember requesting. Fixed pasting not working well. Fixed max lines per slide, removing empty slides. I love it. I love it. I see you, Mr. Terry Ray, transition in the free show. I love it. Okay, fix stage undo freeze issue. Okay. If we go down, there was a beta 2 where we added the quick add project button. I think we talked about that. This came out last week. So I think we talked about it. This 159 came out 2 days ago. Okay. Now to YouTube. We've gotten some comments and questions here on YouTube. Someone was asking about transitions. They were saying that transitions this is Terry T. Jandra, says the transition does not work. I tried resetting the global and also per slide, but it still does not work. Also, when I have it set, it keeps reverting back to when I click again the transition. Do you know how to fix it? And so I've not got to test this out. I replied and said, are you trying to transition media or text? And he said, preferably text, but he wants to try media too. So let's see what it looks like. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to here. I'm going to turn this TV on real quick. And I'm going to connect to it through here. Let's see here, 55-inch. Okay. So that TV's coming on. And so the reason I do this is because what I've learned, at least, is that the preview doesn't always show the transitions the way that they actually show in real life. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into here and let's set this up to where we can test out these previews. Okay. So I'm going to go to outputs and I want my primary to be on. I don't want my stage to be on. I don't need that. And I don't need that other one on, the A Play Live. Turn that off. Primary. All right, let's set the screen for this. The way I do it, I always hit this little box. So you see I got a bunch of different screens active. I hit this little magnifying glass. So this is screen number 4 behind me. And so I'll select number 4. And what ends up happening is it shows up right there as soon as you hit it. Okay. So I got that there and I can close that out. And if you wonder how I got so many screens, you got to check out the video that talks about it. I don't even know what the video is called. Let me see. It was on. Nope. Where did I get to it at? Let's go to here and I'll go to my channel. So your channel here. All right. So in here under videos, if you want to have more than one output, right? I call it the church media hack. Expand your computer displays for more outputs, right? So I've got a regular laptop, M1 Pro, MacBook Pro, 16-inch, okay? So I'm gonna share this with you guys in the comments, copy. Let's see here. I'm gonna say for more screens. I'm just say for more screens. Because my screen selection looked crazy. And I don't want to throw you guys off. You'd be like, how'd you get 18 screens on there, Gary? I don't have 18. That was an exaggeration. Probably like 6, it looks like, is what I'm seeing on there. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe it was 5, including my laptop. And then, yeah, 4, 5 with my laptop. I don't know where that other one came from. Maybe, I think my ATEM was another one. So yeah, 6. I have my ATEM plugged up too. So how did I do that? I actually used a split extender. And I got one cable connected to my computer with just straight HDMI. Then I got another monitor. I say one cable, one monitor connected with HDMI. I've got another monitor connected with USB-C on my right. And then I have this one connected through AirDrop. And then I've got my ATEM connected through the split extender and this TV is actually connected through the split extender as well, but I have it on through AirDrop right now. And then I got another monitor I was using for like a teleprompter. Okay, sorry. That was just a side note, just to make that clear. So you won't see that many screens unless you get something like this. And somebody told me they found something like this at Best Buy. I don't know how much it cost, but this is not the only one. But I will say that this is the only one I found that works with Windows and Mac. So that's why I recommend it. For me, everything that I do, I don't want it to just work on one type of device. As a consultant, I need to have some flexibility to be able to recommend it and test it out. And for me, I do have a Windows computer now that I test with, but I don't use it on a day-to-day. It's not a daily driver. But I say all that to say that I do like having equipment that is working on both platforms. That's what I love about, and even software. So that's what I love about FreeShow. That's what I love about even Open Office. It works on Windows and Mac, and a lot of those other ones as well. Unlike Keynote. Keynote does not, right? So Brian says, I know that I can control FreeShow from different geographical locations using VPN. Are there logistical problems with this? Maybe my in-house person has to leave and I could take over from home. I can't imagine there being any logistical problems with it personally, but I don't use VPN remote access all the time, or ever, I should say. But yeah, if you just, I mean, you could just remote into any computer based on the way you got the feature set up for remote control, remote sharing, and all that kind of stuff. So in your computer settings, you can do that over the network, over the internet, and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think there would be any logistical problems. I think the biggest logistical problem would be that you can't tell if, excuse me, what's going on in-house is functioning as expected. Let me put it that way. So what you're doing on your computer through the other computer portal, right through there, you won't be able to tell if it's actually what Mr. Terry was talking about. Is it in sync, right? Is everything going on the right time? Are people seeing the lyrics on time, or is there a delay to it? You wouldn't know that. So you would have to really set that up to where you would have to get your timing right with somebody in-house to tell you, okay, let me know when you click, and then I'll tell you when it shares, and you can kind of give yourself, it might be a 1 or 2 second delay, but it may not. Honestly, like I said, I can't imagine, because you're controlling that computer there. It may not be a delay, but I don't know. That's a good question though. And yeah, Mr. Terry, I agree with you. It could be some kind of type of delay, but it would depend on the way you got it set up. All right. To the community. So, we were talking about this whole transition thing. Let me go into another. We'll do some verses. Let's see. Okay, so I got these verses here. And what I want to do is I'm going to go to my style. This is what I recommended at the end. I was like, well, this gentleman or this person was saying they were probably doing a transition here, and they were picking in for their text to do a fade. Okay, so I'm gonna make my text do a fade in, and then you can do this option for between and out. And it's set all of them already. They all are set to that. Okay. So I'm going to keep it just like that, a 0.5 second. All right. So now I'm going to go to another verse. Let's see what happens. It didn't fade too much, too hard, but it did switch. So let me see if it is a way that I can make the fade be longer. So we'll make it fade in, out, in between for 1 second. Oh, wait, that's the media. No, that's text. That's text. That's the media. That's text. Okay. So I got it fade. Okay. Let's keep that there. You get this up here to see even more. Fade in, offset. Okay. That's fine. That doesn't do anything, but let's go here. Nope. Didn't do much. This is what the scriptures though, that I'm looking at it from there. Okay. Now let's see what it does with just a regular song. Okay. Yep. Not much fading going on. So my recommendation is, let's check out the settings here under look at your output and determine what your style is right now. And mine is a default style, so I can edit that and I can say, okay, I want it to have a transition. Right now it's set to none. So I can change that to be text fade, and I'll make it be 1 second, and that's in, out, and then between is kind of defaulting to that 0.5. It doesn't let me change that. Okay. So now let's see if that changes anything. Nope, doesn't change anything. Those would be my only thoughts. Let me see. I'm gonna test out one more. Has anybody else tested out the transitions? And wait a minute. It's saying that I have none set. I see something. Let's see. I'm gonna do a slide in. Left to right, duration, in, We'll say slide in between. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, my transition is still setting to none, and I'm setting it up to do something, but it's not doing anything. Anybody else running into this issue? Interesting. I don't see any comments. Christopher, have you seen this or tested this out? Yep, because it's not doing anything special. I wanted to do some sliding in and sliding out, and it's not doing it at all. So I think that's just a bug. And so I will let this gentleman know that let him know we tried on FreeShow Friday. Oh, I have between set to none. Let me see. Let me double check before I reply. And so if I go back between okay, so if I do between, Christopher, okay, I'll do slide. And so that between has to do with the first slide, not being the first slide, not being the last slide. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, left to right. So I want to slide left to right. That'll work. Let's see what it does now. We'll go to the show. We'll do, yeah, it does it. Okay, so now let's go to settings, but it still says transition none. What's up with that? Is it because I don't have media on or something? So I want this to do a fade, and we'll say 5 seconds. And then the in, it'll do a slide, and the out, it'll do a slide. But between, we're going to do a fade, okay? So what that means, I'm going to clear all, and I'm going to go, and you guys can see full screen here, okay? So I'm going to start this. It slides in. When I arrow to the right, it just fades. And it's the text box, right? So it's all of that is a big blur text box. So everything is fading, as you guys can see there. And it even shows up in my preview the same way. So my preview is showing the transition seamlessly too. So let's make this clear. Thanks, Christopher. So you need to set your between function or between transition. And you guys can tell I don't use transitions hardly at all. Between transition to reflect what happens between each slide of a show. And so I always thought the in and out had to do with the in and out of a slide, but it has to do with the in and out of a show is what I'm understanding. Is that right, Christopher? And then the between has to do with when you're inside the show, what's happening. Between transition to reflect what happens between each slide of a show, and the in and out to represent the first and last slides of a show. All right. That makes a lot of sense. All right. Let me reply back. We're going to help Terry T. Jandra in. And then we got this cool comment from T. Hooper. She says, this is hands down my favorite video of yours so far. Now, ignore this. I don't know what my OBS was doing, but it seemed like it released 2 videos, the same video twice. What she was talking about was a live video that we did this week on In the Lab. And so it was in the lab. And it was called Streamline Your Service is what it was all about. And it was all about streamlining your service. If you guys are looking for ways to improve your free show experience, you got to have some structure. And so this whole, let me see, what day was this that I did this? This last couple of weeks, let's see. Yeah, the last couple of weeks on In the Lab have been on the first, in 223, I should say, the last few weeks. I did a video on how to build your structure. So if you haven't seen that, you want to check out episode 7 of In the Lab. And then episode 8 is all about taking that structure and then streamlining your service to be a fluid and solid, consistent process, if that makes sense, or consistent experience for your volunteers and for you as media leaders. Because I know a lot of you guys on here are media leaders. Excuse me. Some of you all might be volunteers as well, which is great. But I want to make sure that's cool. Okay, so no new comments right now. And then so very cool. Thank you so much, Miss T. Hooper. And this is one here. Hey, Gary, I have an HDMI splitter, but for some reason I can't get the stage view to appear on my back wall screen. And this is from Music Never Sleeps. And they said, it seems that my projector and back wall screen just mirror each other, if that makes sense. Is there a way I can reach out to you and send you a video of what I'm talking about? Thanks. And they didn't have to reach out to me. You can send me an email, I guess, if you have to or need to. And then also you can always set up a consultation with me on my website on the first page. Just go to GaryBJr.com and I'll just put a note in here for consultation. Let's do that. All right, I'm gonna just go directly to it from here. We'll keep that. We'll say Gary B. Jr. And so right here on my main page, you can hit this 30-minute media consultation, and I'll just copy this. And you can set it up on any times that are available. And I don't even know what times are available. Let's see here. It works around my work calendar. And so if you go there, it'll bring up, I got some early morning sessions for me on the East Coast here, which translates around the world to be all kinds of times. And I also have some later in the afternoon sessions kind of after work for me as well. Okay. So if you need a consultation, feel free. Let's see here. And then on Friday, it's kind of open. So Friday is kind of an open day in the afternoon for me usually. And then Saturday and Sunday, I usually work on Sundays, serving with a lot of different churches. And then Saturday, I have a Sabbath. So I try to take my day off on Saturday for anything related to work in that way. All right. So you can always set up a consultation. Hopefully one of those times will work for you. If you need a different time, feel free to email me and we can figure out something else if we need to. Okay. But that is an option. Okay. Now, so for this gentleman though, or this person, this was Music Never Sleeps. I don't know if it's a lady or a guy, but my answer to them was, I think the problem may be your splitter. Okay. The very nature of a splitter is that it is going to mirror whatever you input to it. And it's going to split it out. Like, so sometimes you can buy a 2-way splitter, 3-way splitter, 4-way splitter. I've seen people use 8-way splitters. I'm trying to think if I think the most I've ever used, I think I've used the 8-way, but it was because we had 2 screens in the front and then we had one in the back and they wanted to all be the same. And then we had one in the booth to get that same signal. Okay. And so, yeah. So then Mr. Terry Ray, real quick question says, is it possible to use streaming music service inside FreeShow? You know, it's a pretty cumbersome workaround if you figure it out, but I don't think there is a way to do it seamlessly right now. You can play radio stations, and I made a FreeShow Friday about that a while back. I can't remember when it was, but you can do radio stations in FreeShow, which is kind of crazy. So if you go to audio, and then you select this option that says audio streams. So the audio tab right down here in the middle, and go to audio streams. You'll see I got a bunch of different radio stations here. Some of them from Kansas City, back home, Gospel 1590. And when you select that, it'll just stream that audio station. So that radio station, I'm sorry, and it'll be commercials and all, right? Which is totally different than like a Spotify or something like that, where if you pay for it, I think you can go through without any commercials. Or I use Amazon Music sometimes from my phone, but I don't know how to seamlessly do it. If anybody else has done something like that, chime in and help Mr. Terry Ray out of what that might look like. But I know about this, and this is just I went to a FM radio website, and got these links and just pasted them in and tested it out. And it was pretty cool to do. But I don't think most churches would want to play the radio with the commercials in their service in any way in terms of ministry. I think it's kind of cool to do it, I don't know when it would be cool to do that, to do a radio station blasting through and all that stuff. But yeah, it's possible to do it this way, but not with, I would say, modern day, services. I haven't figured out a way to do that. So hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, so for going back to Music Never Stops, I recommended to them the same thing I told you guys earlier. That split extend device by Orion allows you to not just split a signal, but it actually is making a separate output for 4 different signals. Okay. And so you can put in the device to your computer with a USB-C is how it works. And you download the software for it. You know, so some software that makes it work right. And then you just literally plug that device in, and it automatically gives you the option to plug in 4 HDMI cables to go to different screens, wherever you want them to be. And then your computer can see those screens, and you can dictate in FreeShow which screen is going to be the stage, which screen is going to be the front main, which screen is going to be out the lobby, or wherever you set your screens up. Okay. So that was a recommendation, and they said, it's funny because I just watched that video you made about the Orion split extend shortly after commenting this, and I think that's exactly what I need. I would agree. I'm pretty sure that is it. And then this was Mr. Terry Ray. Hey, big shout out to Terry Ray, Mr. Terry Ray again. Same video that T. Hooper was talking about. Hers, for whatever reason, it sent 2 different streams. I don't know why. 2 different video thumbnails. I don't know why. But same thing. He was like, hey, these are some great tips on that streamlining your service. Okay. And then let's see here. This was 5 days ago. Thank you. A lot of churches use cracked software that do not offer the level of features as FreeShow. And you are teaching us to use this open source quality and free software that can and do more than the paid softwares. Thank you with love from Nigeria. So this is our friend in Nigeria, Faith Unlimited 7014. They were watching the Cloud Sync video. It came out last Saturday. That FreeShow Cloud Sync. It literally says this changes everything. I know for me, it's been over a year that I've been waiting to get a better Cloud Sync option, because Cloud Sync was available with the Google API. When you get the later versions of FreeShow now, you won't have that Google API option. There's literally an integrated option under church apps, which is designed for churches as opposed to just general file saving, right? And so the thing I like about it is it allows you to set up FreeShow for multiple teams, and those teams' cloud files don't overlap. You literally can have the media team for the main adult service have their own cloud that they're syncing up and saving. Now I'm just talking here, but they can have their own cloud that they're saving content to. And I say the team. It could be a team of 1. It could just be you, and what you're doing is you're working from home on your laptop and you're syncing with the computer at church. So it's literally just a question of what computers need to have the same information. That represents a team. Okay. Then you can have the U team under the same church apps account have their own files with FreeShow synced up that don't even touch the adult files. Okay. In terms of the songs that you guys sing in the adult service, the kids might have a different set of services or a whole different way that they do their service, and they can sync up from home as well. Whoever leads the kids ministry, make their shows, sync them up with the kids ministry computer, right? That's in the church, and it'll automatically be there as well. Totally separate, never overlapping, never interference. And all you do is when you go into FreeShow, you pick which team you want to be a part of or that you're a part of already. But in church apps, you designate who is going to be on which team. And that's crazy cool. So that video, check it out. I literally walked through setting up the Cloud Sync on 3 different computers, 2 MacBook, 2 Apple computers, and then 1 Windows computer, and synced it up. The thing that I want to make sure you guys are aware of that I learned in the video is that you don't need to rush your media sync. I was doing a media sync raw, and I had a bunch of media files. And so they don't finish completely by the time I got through with that video. And that video took me some time to make. A lot of time to prepare for, but a lot of time to make it as well. And I just sped through it in terms of some of the parts where I was just doing stuff the same. I just sped through and had some fun music with it, which was funny. But give it time for the media to sync. But your cloud, your actual metadata, your shows, your projects, your settings, all that stuff syncs almost instantly, because those are really small files that they're saving on the cloud, and it's automatically downloaded to your computer depending on which settings you set up for your sync option, which is really cool. Let's see here. So Larry says, can you play soaking instrumentals on audio? Yeah, you can play whatever you want to in the audio tab in FreeShow. So going back to the comments here in the chat. So in the audio tab, you add any music you want, right? So for me, I got some music here that I've downloaded so I can play my Christmas album. I got Frosty the Snowman and Merry Christmas. I can play those in Free Show directly from my computer. In the way that you do it in church, you would want to have your computer connected to a soundboard or something like that, which a lot of you all already do. So if you're playing a video anyway, you got the audio coming through your sound system from your computer. You would do that and you play any music you have on your computer through Free Show, right? And you can make playlists. So I got playlists. So my Free Show Friday, where's that? I think it's called live stream intro. This is what I play every Free Show Friday. It's a 10-minute, 14-second playlist with 4 different songs, and I edit them to cut down the ends of them because the ends were just silent, like silent, and I wanted it to blend together. And so they blend together here, and I got my settings here. If you go to the settings option, I got a 6-second crossfade, and I got the volume down to 60 on this playlist. Okay, and you can play it, you can shuffle it, and all that kind of stuff. But any music you have on your computer, you can play it. I got this one song here that I play now before my intro, and it's just by this. And I download up most of my music that I play on the internet. I've downloaded from Artlist, which is a paid subscription. So you want to be mindful of that. If you are using popular music, you have to be careful because Facebook is really good at striking in and kind of taking it off the internet. I think YouTube, they'll just say you can't monetize a video. Not a big deal, but something to keep in mind. And then Larry says, does the computer need to be on at the church when you use the sync? No, it does not. When you get to the church, though, you need to turn the computer on. When you open up Free Show, you can just hit sync and it'll automatically pull whatever's down from the cloud. Very good question, by the way. And then Larry says, what are soaking instrumentals? No, Mr. Terry Ray says, what are soaking instrumentals? And Larry says, like soaking music played when praying. Basically like calm music. And he said, thanks, I never heard of soaking music. Very cool. And so one of the things about this community, you guys, that I love, like we come together not because of our denomination. We come together because we all have a mission that's very similar in terms of we want to grow the kingdom of God. However that looks in your quote unquote denomination, I believe that one of the main things that we understand is that we have a purpose and a mission to help people. And I didn't even share y'all my screen. Sorry. We have a purpose and a mission to help people. I'll come back now, but to experience the truth of the gospel, right? And using media is a great way to do it. And what I love about Free Show, I've said this time and time again, is it gives people the opportunity to read the scriptures for themselves. It gives people an opportunity to engage in worship with songs they don't even know the words to, but because you're there, because I'm there, they can see the words and they can sing and engage and experience worship in a way that they would not have on their own, or even if they were just there and they just didn't, nobody put the song lyrics up for them. Same way with the scriptures. The scriptures are major to where people can read it for themselves. And it's important that we teach and we preach, but as we teach and we preach, it's important that we teach and preach the word of God, the Bible. And so Free Show includes the Bible for us to actually share reliably to our audience in our ministries, in our fellowships. And so whether you're meeting online, whether you're meeting in person, Free Show is a powerful tool to help you accomplish that goal. And as the media person, you're kind of in the middle. You're between the messenger and the hearer. The question is, how good is the media in between? How good is the microphone, right? The quality of the microphone in terms of the sound. Are they able to hear it loud enough? The sound system, is it loud enough? Is it in the right position? All those different things play a part. And then the presentation. Are you able to keep up with what's going on? That's where Free Show comes in and is a really useful and helpful tool for us to accomplish this mission. So I love that we're a community of people that have the same mission from different backgrounds, different countries, different cities, different denominations. And so seeing that he was saying, hey, I've never heard even the term soaking music. That's something I would completely expect in our community, that we can share those kind of ideas and not assume that everybody does the same thing, because this is a full community of a lot of different folks, which I love. Let's see here. What's the best site to get them? So M. Smith, what are some good soaking songs? Yeah, Larry says it's like background music, right? I love that. Great way to describe it, Larry. And then Mark says, what are some good soaking songs? And then what is the best site to get them? There's a lot of different places you can get it, and a lot of different ways you can get it. One guy I like to listen to on Amazon, his name is, I say his name, I don't know if it's his name, but his stage name maybe, it's called Dappy Keys. And I don't know a place to get him. I would just do a search for him. But yeah, Larry says you can find him off YouTube. And I just put this in here. I'm just gonna put his name in the way I think it's spelled, Dappy Keys, and it's spelled just like how it sounds. And so I've used that before. And then Valikusimus. And so going back real quick before I discuss his question, let me share my screen real quick. What I was showing to does computer need to be? Can you play? Who asked the question about the audio? Need to be in a church. Okay. Larry said, can you play soaking instrumentals on audio on FreeShow? So in this audio tab, I was describing it, but in here you can add in your own folders of music from your computer. And I've done that. So I've got, let's see here. I got downloads. I got a whole music folder. And inside of here, I got Amazon Music, and my Christmas album is in here. And I can play this by dragging it onto any slide that I want to, or I can make it into a playlist. And so I got my Christmas playlist that I've already dragged those same songs on, and they'll automatically loop. When you put them in a playlist, they'll automatically loop for you, which I love. It shows you exactly how long the playlist is. So if you need a 30 minutes worth of music, when you start adding songs into your playlist, you're just dragging them in. You drag them into any playlist you want to, right? So I already got this here, so I'm gonna drag it in there. But it already put it in there twice, which is kind of cool. All right. But I can right click on this, I can remove it, and it's there. Wait, I right clicked on the wrong one. So I got that one. Okay. So now I got it in there. Yeah. Okay. So I say all that to say you can bring music in and you can play it. You could even drag this whole playlist onto a slide. So maybe it's your opening slide. Maybe you have a prayer slide and you just want to have that prayer slide showing, and you want this playlist to automatically start playing at that time. You just take this whole playlist and just drag it onto a slide, and it'll automatically start playing when you get to that particular slide. Okay. So yes. Brian says, when using copyrighted music, beware of doing things properly and credit. Absolutely. So that we are not stealing someone's hard work. So important, you guys. So important. And the reality of it is that if you are using this in a way that is going to, what's the word? Interfere with copyright or cause copyright infringement, be mindful of that to where you can really research, understand exactly what you're getting into, and understanding where you have the rights. A lot of stuff is designed for personal use. Someone is sending me a message about even YouTube videos are designed for personal use. And so we have that option here in FreeShow. So you have to use it at your discretion as to how you display that. It says it's not for, they sent me a message and said, hey, this is not for, YouTube didn't send it to me. Somebody from another church said, hey, how are you guys using FreeShow to do that? How can FreeShow do that when it's not for commercial use or it's only for personal use? And that's totally up to your discretion in terms of how you're going to use it. So we have to be responsible as media people, media leaders, to do what's right. And what Brian is talking about there is very important. Okay. Like I said, even when I brought up that idea with Dappy Keys, look and see, like I said, if you buy, a lot of times you could buy this, used to be able to buy the CDs and all that kind of stuff, or stream your own stuff. But the reality of it is, if you're not streaming it and trying to generate revenue from it, or if you're paying for that service, those things all come into play. And then you also have services like CCLI that allow you to have some rights to do certain things, including have that be on your live stream and stuff like that. From what I remember, I should say, from what I believe. You guys can correct me. Anybody in here subscribe to CCLI for their music and things like that? Let me know. All right, let's see here. Let me go back to some more comments if there were any. My friend from Nigeria, Faith Unlimited. Okay. Maryland Wesley says, FreeShow is very powerful and intuitive. It can be used as a scene and camera switcher. They say, I only use OBS for multi-stream, and audio is fed directly from the mixer. Okay. And then set and forget on OBS. Everything else is done in FreeShow. And I just commented and said, that's very nice. And so this is from our live last week from FreeShow Friday. And I said, very nice. What type of cameras do you use and how do you switch between them? And so Maryland Wesleyan says the way they do it is they use 3 PTZ cameras via a USB hub, and then they make each camera on an overlay after you set the main and lock to a specific output. So what that means, they've got a USB hub that has like maybe 4 USB ports on a USB-C or regular USB, whatever it is. And they got each PTZ camera connected via USB to their computer. So now their computer sees 3 different cameras. All right. They got 3 different cameras plugged up to the computer, basically as like a capture card. Okay. The PTZ camera is connected to it through USB. So it's like a webcam, I should say, not a capture card, but a webcam. Okay. Then they said we make an overlay after. So make each camera on an overlay after you set up the main, and then lock to a specific output. All right. So now they set up their main output. This is what I gathered, at least. They set up their main output, and then it says they duplicate and change the camera feed accordingly. And then they toggle on the one you want to spotlight. Toggle on the overlay that you want. So make style and keep all layers active. Oh. And then output to OBS via FreeShow NDI, and then specific output on your NDI specific output. And then audio comes to OBS from the X32 mixer via the same USB hub. Nice. Okay. And they said this setup is without an ATEM switcher. And then AV cameras and joystick connect to the PoE network switch just to position the cameras. So they use power over Ethernet is what PoE stands for. And they use that so they run Ethernet cables from their PTZ cameras. And then somehow they've got their USB connection from their PTZ cameras as well. And then it says you can also output to OBS using the output show. So you can also output to OBS using the output show under the connection in the settings. So also output to OBS using the output show. Oh, okay. And so and that's with the settings under connection, right? In the settings by adding a browser source, which is faster than NDI in latency to Maryland Wesleyan. Okay. And so what they were saying was they literally go into their overlays. Okay. And I got a couple cameras set up. I don't have a lot. Let's see here. I will go to, I'm gonna make one called cameras. I'm make a new overlay category called cameras. I'm gonna just hit enter. And then they said they make a new overlay. And I'm gonna call this webcam. Boom. And then in here they add a camera. And I'm gonna choose my webcam, my FaceTime camera. You can see that behind me. You can see my little boom mic and all this stuff for another setup. And here's my webcam right here on my laptop. And I'm gonna make this be full screen. And it's set to contain, which is fine. But when I bring it out to be full screen, it fills up the whole screen just like that. And so now I can go into here, and you can even right click on this and you can place it under, or you can lock it to an output. And so if I select it, it goes there and it covers up. Okay. I can go to any slide I want to, but it is covered up and it's locked over the top of the output because it is an overlay. Okay. And I can select it again and it'll go away. Okay. Now what they did is they made more. So I'm gonna duplicate this one and I'm gonna call this one my GH5. And then I go into this and edit it. And I'll say, pick a new camera. And this is my USB video. It's connected to a USB card. That's right there. Oh, wrong one. I picked FaceTime. Where'd it go? Okay, USB. Let's clear that one out and let's pick a new one. Let's see. There we go. All right, so I had to clear that out and then select it just by hitting this little X, okay? So I got this one now. So now I got 2 cameras. I'm not gonna probably do 3. I don't have a third camera to do that with. I guess, I have one here, but it's not connected to anything to my computer. These all have to be connected to your computer though, okay? And since he's got this set to do that, then let me go back. All right, then toggle, so make each camera on an overlay after you set up the main and lock to a specific output, okay? Duplicate and change the camera feed accordingly. We just did that. And it says then toggle on the one you want to spotlight or overlay. And then make your style and keep all layers active, which we do have, and then output to OBS via FreeShow NDI. All right, so now if I want to show my camera, I can do that, and I just click on the camera and it shows up. And I got that little slide in action set up here. And then I got the little that little guy back there. That's always fun to me to look back and see that little the little setup. You guys can't see it. Let me see. Let me show you guys this. This is I made a short video talking about this because it was a funny thing. When I turn around and look like that, it looks like they look away from me. And it's just me with a ripple effect, which is kind of hilarious. And then it kind of comes back. It probably was kind of spotty on you guys then. Let me see if I do that. Okay, no, it's not spotty. All right. But that was kind of funny. Okay, let me jump back. And so then you would go into your settings and you would go into your outputs and you would just pick your NDI. And I got my NDI already on with my audio on. And so if I were to go to my primary free show right now, if I switch in my OBS and I select primary free show, this is what comes up. Now, to me, it's a little bit of a lag, but it's not bad. It kind of froze for a second, at least from what it looked like. But that's what I've got going on right there. And that's coming straight from free show. So it can support it, basically. And he uses that to switch between. And you could even make it to where you can make some actions. I would make some actions that would actually activate and deactivate another one, if that makes sense, in terms of overlays. That's a really sweet setup. Really sweet. And that doesn't require you to have any ATEM switchers or anything like that. Okay. And then let's see what else we got here. After Maryland, someone, Atisa John Mark, DZ9G2 said, may the Lord bless the works of your hand, big brother. You have helped us and helped me more to learn more about Free Show. Big ups. Big ups to you too, Atisa John Mark. And he was talking about or responding to this cloud sync video. Like I said, if you guys have not seen it, make sure to check it out. It may reveal some things to you that you haven't known about cloud sync, especially with the media files, because when we talk about cloud sync, we're talking about the features and settings of Free Show, but a lot of times people consider it being also the media files, their videos, their pictures, their background, motion graphics. And this feature it supports that, but it does it in a unique way. So I want you guys to be careful and mindful and know how to do that. And then when you do set it up, what I would say is I recommend making your files available offline. I use Google Drive. I use Google Drive on mine, and this is the comment from Atisa John Mark. But on my Google Drive, I set some of those files that I like to use. I set those to be available offline because I use them all the time. Okay, so that makes it flow a little bit smoother to me, at least from my experience. Let's see here. Another comment. Thanks for the awesome tutorials on Free Show. I just started using it a few months ago and have learned a lot from these videos. Big shout out to Jonah Boundy. Okay. Let's see here. Verbacious when using, okay. K Vaspo, he's laughing. Are you laughing at my, I think you're probably laughing at my little screen guy. I made a little funny, like a scary movie video, like not a horror, but like a scary film about that. It was just a quick little thing with some dramatic music with it, with that whole setup. I don't even know how. I probably won't share with anybody. I showed it to my wife and to our video editor, and we got a good laugh out of that yesterday. It was hilarious. All right. And let's see here. This is another one from 4 days ago. Brother, I'm a new subscriber. Wow, man. Thanks for the teaching. I am new to this and starting to set up Free Show for my church. This is Andre Gordon 803. Big shout out to Andre Gordon. This is from last week's Free Show Friday as well. John Schaff said, I would second the desire for an output to RTMP. This is a big discussion we had last week. Somebody was liking that in ProPresenter. They said, this is a real blessing. My options are to run hardware. I don't want to have to learn OBS for something I can solve with hardware. We do currently use PowerPoint or ProPresenter, and stream directly to RTMP. All right. And that was to Free Show Friday Live last week as well. We had a good discussion about that. If you didn't get to see Free Show Friday last week, check it out. It was a really good discussion. And then Andre Gordon said, thanks for the teaching on this one. This was a the basic beginner setup. And let's see here, 11 days ago, I think we might have read this one already. Let me see. Thanks, Gary. OBS is always showing static stream of my Free Show. When presenting a video on Free Show, a static image is always shown. How can I fix this? And so I told him I would consider going into Free Show and disable and then re-enable NDI and the NDI audio. And this should refresh it. where you may have to reselect the source again under its properties. And so what I found out that I run into is the same thing that they were talking about, not necessarily a static page on OBS, but it just wasn't getting the feed at all. And it's so funny. Let me turn off this this overlay behind me. That's kind of hilarious. But what I found was that when you use OBS and you turn it on, I would turn on OBS first, and then when I open up FreeShow, I would turn on FreeShow, and then I would automatically, in my mind now, what I do even before FreeShow Friday is I disable NDI on my main output, and then I turn it right back on, and I have to make sure to turn audio on because I do use my audio from FreeShow when I play my music and all that stuff and the intro stuff. So all that to say, we're getting close to the end of time here. I've got to get running, but hopefully there aren't any other questions that have come through. You guys have been awesome. Like I said, it's been a fun FreeShow Friday for me. Hopefully it's been great for you guys. And you learned something. You got to take away some cool tips and some things you can take to your ministry to make it even better, or for your business, all that good stuff. Stay tuned for In the Lab next week. Planning to do it on Monday. We've settled into 6:30 a.m. Eastern time, which is good, but it also is early. I know for me and for everybody else in America, it's probably pretty early because that means on the West Coast, that's like 4 o'clock. No, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know, something crazy, but it'll be something you can always go back and watch. If you have not, I would recommend you go back and look at this one from this week on Monday. The goal of it is to level up this year. Our goal is to level up. And these In the Lab videos are designed for that. But oh, wrong thing. Let me see if I can delete that. That's just Gary B. Jr. Let me try to do this again. Let me copy it this time. Okay. In the Lab is definitely worth a look-see. With that being said, you guys, bless you all. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great weekend. And check out FreeShow 159. It's really good. A lot of cool stuff we talked about today. A lot of fun features. And be on the lookout for my next video. It'll probably be about how to record your lyric shows, like how to pre-record them, because I've got a video out about that. It's outdated because of these updates in FreeShow. There's a new way to do it. And so I'm going to do a deep dive on how to do that. And I've got a teaser. I'm going to tease it. There's a really cool song that I'm going to use that you guys have never heard before. It's going to be fun. All right. So I'm going to give a wink out. Big shout out to Claude from Canada. We'll talk more. You'll see what I'm talking about in the future when you guys see that video, but it's a really fun song. All right. Bless you guys. Have a great rest of the day. This video. I really hope it helped you in a major way. Now, at this point, most people would ask you to like and subscribe, and I think that's great, but my goal is a little bit different. My goal is to empower as many people as possible all over the globe. And there's one way that you can really help me do that, and that is to leave a comment below with a question, a thought, how this video may have helped you, or things that were left out that you still have questions about, and to share this video with someone just like you. Someone who is looking for answers, someone who's curious and wants to grow. With your help, I believe we can build a community of people that want to grow together. So until next time, God bless.